So in this retreat, we try to find clarity. But instead of clarity, you often find lots of confusion. This confusion is actually really good. It doesn't feel nice, but it is good that you let go of all your concepts, your perceptions, your particular way of thinking, and that it loses its shape. So instead of wanting to find clarity, you can try to embrace confusion. Many times we try to conceptualize things, analyze things so that it is logical. And when it's logical, it gives us a sense of control. But with mindfulness, we learn to look and experience the things as they are. But when we are trapped in concepts, then that hinders our true experience, our real experience of the present moment. In this retreat, you don't know what's happening. We are doing lots of exercises. You hear things that doesn't fit in your concept, in your understanding of life. And that's a good thing. So I'm not here to give you another concept. I'm here to teach you how to be in touch with reality, to learn from your experience, to check whether your perception is in line with reality. So therefore, we need to keep it simple. Sometimes in this retreat I make it that simple that it becomes confusing. Mindfulness is quite simple. We focus on our breathing. We become present. Just like now. We're just sitting here together and we feel our breaths. When we got identified with thinking, we can create a whole another world, fantasy world. You can have lots of ideas. And imaginations, different kind of perceptions. It's not a matter whether they are right or wrong, or good or false. But it's more like, do they get painful for you or not? Your way of thinking, is that helpful in letting go of suffering? Yes or no? What I like about the mindfulness is that we can test ourselves. We constantly look at the reality, things how they truly are at the present moment. The only way we can do that is to be connected with the body. Otherwise, it gets a fantasy again. So feel your breath. That's real. When we put all our thoughts on top of this experience, we get another reality. Makes it more confusing. And this confusion, this delusion, often leads to pain. Clearly, there are different kinds of thinking, different ways of thinking, different ways of understanding things. One way leads to pain, other ways leading to less pain. So where are you going to? How do you think? What is your way of thinking? And is that beneficial? We can be so trapped in a way of thinking that we think that is the truth. I don't really care if it is the truth or not. Does it lead to pain, yes or no? Not only on short notice, but also in the long term. Thinking is almost the same as acting. If you make this comparison, like thinking, active thinking is acting. If you act in a certain way with your body, it can be hurtful or it brings peace. It brings war or it brings peace, or somewhere in the middle. Whether that is with yourself or with others. So, what is your way of thinking? Does it bring peace? Or does it bring war, friction, confusion, conflict? If you know how to bring peace, to think in ways that brings inner peace, you know how to stop war. You know how to end conflicts. War in the world is just a great skill of what's happening inside. It's the same. In order to bring peace, you need to find peace within yourself. This is what mindfulness is. Knowing how to let go of suffering means knowing how to come to peace with yourself. Therefore, we need to understand what craving energy is, what suffering is, how to let go of that. Finally, by having a right understanding leads to the right actions, or wholesome actions, I would say. So right understanding means looking at things as they truly are, looking at the nature. We call the nature Dhamma in Pali or in Buddhism. We learn from nature. Then our thinking will change. Often we learn how to think in a particular way by our experiences, our upbringing, our religion. So then we get trapped in a concept, in a framework, in a construct. So I'm not saying change your thinking. I'm saying practice mindfulness, get a different understanding, and let your thoughts change. And that makes it simple again. Thinking by itself, philosophizing about things, that can also boost our egos. Gives a pleasant feeling. Understanding things gives a good feeling. Solving things in thinking also gives a good feeling. Fantasizing about things, the same. Holding on to certain constructs of thinking gives safetiness, a sense of control. But unfortunately, it's an illusion. Every time you go there in your head, you come back to the breath, stepping out of this illusion. And that's difficult. At first you might not want that. You don't want to breathe mindfully. You want to think. You want to understand. You want to solve. You want to have grip on the situation. When you stay with your breath, you don't have control on anything. No control, just your breath. just this body. Trusting that you are doing the right things on the right time. Without all the concepts and thoughts. You just breathe and you stay present. Of course, if you need to plan something, you plan something. You think, you plan. But for the rest, you're just here, breathing, doing what's needed in the present moment. But we are not doing that. Most of the time, we are just thinking all the time. We have a second reality. And I'm inviting you to step out of that illusion. By focusing on the breath again. And let everything change in your life by doing that. Let the mindfulness energy change you. Step by step and slowly it will show you what the wholesome things are. Then acting upon the wholesome things is scary. You don't know the outcome. Often also fear is accompanied by following this path, this mindfulness energy. Doing things mindfully is doing things differently than what we know. That's quite scary. The only thing that gives you a safe feeling, a secure feeling, is your breath. It's your mindfulness. Every idea about the future is an illusion. Usually we are trapped in our thoughts, creating our world also about the future, about the past. Gives us a sense of control again. But again, we find out many times that this sense of control is not true and that our thoughts are not right about the future or what it truly is, our ideas about how the situation is. And then that's painful. We figure out it turned to be otherwise, turned to be different, not according to our thoughts. With mindfulness, we don't know. We only know to stay present and how to deal with the problem points. that are here and now. From moment to moment, you take care. The rest will follow. When I'm trapped in thoughts, I don't care about this moment. I'm not truly there. I'm somewhere else. Then lots of things is happening to the body without even knowing it. And then we even become more cautious about what will happen in the future, because this happened to my body and I didn't know it. I should control even more, be more careful. And then a lot of restrictions and suppression happens in this body. We got tensed because it's not safe. You cannot find safetyness in thinking. But you can find safetyness in breathing mindfully. When we are thinking, this is just only one part of the body. And we lose sight on the rest of our bodies. When we breathe mindfully, we connect with the whole body. We have to take care of whole our body, not only about our thoughts. It's like we have 6 senses and we only take care of 1 sense. Everybody would understand that you will miss 5. And that's not handy to do. And when we watch a movie, that is not smart to only to read the subtitles, but not watching the movie. This is a bit how thinking works. Being identified with thinking, only reading the subtitles without watching. Understanding without experiencing. It feels safe to not feel. But unfortunately, that will lead to a tremendous pain over time. We have to feel everything. And in order to feel everything, we shouldn't suppress. We have to feel everything. Even the things we don't like. Even the things we hate about ourselves. Even our painful habits. The emotions we don't like. Our own behavior that we don't like. Many times we don't know how to let go of that suppression. With mindfulness, that takes a while. Mindfulness is breathing. It's like up and down, in and out, in and out. By doing that all the time, it's like contraction, relaxation, contraction, relaxation. But suppression is contraction and holding it like that. Right? Inhale and hold. How would that feel? Or exhale and hold. But with mindfulness, it's in and out, in and out. With the breath. But mindfulness is about the whole body. It's not the emotions like you hold. No, it's in and out, in and out. Thinking the same. They come and they go. They come and go. When you hold your thoughts, it's not pleasant. Often we think that mindfulness is reducing many things. Reduce stress, reduce tension. No, it's in and out, in and out. It's the nature. So when you are restricted, when you suppress many things, mindfulness will open up. It comes out, it increases. Maybe you get even more thoughts, more emotions, more madness, more craziness and madness and yelling and whatever. For the other person that is already crazy, he becomes normal. So where are you? Are you the one to get crazy in this retreat?
Woo! Yeah.
Forming a revolution. Or are you the one that is already crazy? You become a little bit softer, more gentle. That's crazy. That's weird. Now you're going to behave normal? You sure? And who am I then, if I'm not that crazy guy anymore? So mindfulness has nothing to do anything about your behavior. It changes your behavior, but I don't know how that will look like in your case. So therefore it's not like, oh, he's so mindful because he acts so mindful. I remember this story that I think, and I remember it right, it's like the enlightened one walks next to a crazy man. They look the same, but the only difference is that the enlightened one knows he's enlightened and the crazy man doesn't. So again, it's about the pain. Letting go of the pain, the suffering. When you come home after this week, lots of things happened and changed. Nobody sees it. You know it's different, but nobody sees it. What have you done this week? Sitting still? Having a holiday? But you internally know and witness this is so different now. Sometimes quite confusing. Sometimes you would like to share that you have changed, but yeah, nobody sees it. The thing that has changed is that your perception might have changed and that you know to do differently with pain, with suffering. Unfortunately, that is not an ego boost. Like, what have you learned? You're stronger now, better? You can perform better? Well, actually, I only know how to do better with pain. But the result of that is tremendous. The result means that you have more happiness, more inner peace, long-lasting. And that you can share with others as well. Not even by actively helping, but just by being present. Our bodies, with our six senses, feel when someone else has this inner peace, this enlightenment. Every day that you practice here, you become more enlightened. With that light, you help other people. You only have to breathe mindfully. So in this week, you're not only giving a great gift to yourself, but you give also a tremendous gift to others. So now at the airport, you don't have to buy anything. Save that money in your pocket. You can be greedy on that one, but that's another story, other mindfulness lesson. And now with this happiness and feeling delighted, you enjoy the breathing, being mindful. When there's less suppression, there's more joy. We can laugh, not taking everything too serious. Then you know how to relax. And at other times you know how to contract, how to be serious. It's in and out. Up and down. When it goes in and out and up and down, it comes and goes. When we are attached to that, that's painful. Therefore, we try to hold in or keep it away. This is where this suppression comes from. It's scary to truly embrace the coming and going, the impermanence. That means that we know we have it and it will leave us. That's painful. With the mindfulness, we learn how to detach, how to let it go so that we are okay with the in and out and up and down, gaining and losing, rising and declining. Being born and going to die, birth and death. The closer it gets, the more attachment there is and the more painful it gets when it comes to our beloved ones. They come and go too. With the mindfulness, we learn how to say goodbye to many things, to everything actually, when it's still here. We say goodbye to our beloved ones while they are still alive. That's really painful. But what is more painful is when it happens and it happens to you without saying goodbye before that moment. The Buddha once said, "You better die before death comes to you." What he meant was, let go of everything before it lets go of you. In deep meditations and in the monastery where I lived for a year, I had these moments when my family was there, my wife and 2 kids. They walked away from me just as in a normal day, And there was an entrance there, and they slowly passed the corner. And I felt like if you pass that corner, this will be the last time I see you. That was so real to me, and I had to cry. Realizing one day in my life that will happen. And it happened at that moment. If you go around that corner, I won't see you ever again. I said so many times goodbye to my children, to my wife, in my meditations. Also finding that relief, like, oh, they're still here. People would question you, like, why would you do that? And my answer is to love them more. So that when we are still together, I can love more. So when there's less fear of losing them, I can love more. This is how deep mindfulness goes, with everything. Nobody sees it. It's invisible, this process. So we learn how to say goodbye. The only way how to prepare yourself for that is to stay mindful. To be in the moment. That when something happens, you are there mindfully. Knowing how to act. Breathe more deeply.